To PennZone. Brian and I are coming in hot. We got Brian Linder, the high school football expert, trending news guru. Brian Linder is in the house. We got sports editor Austin Herzog. We're coming in hot. We got the playoff games we got a bunch of competitive games this week. We had a bunch of blowouts last week, Brian. This week we have some fantastic games. One of them, which is Harrisburg versus Manheim Township at Manheim Township. It's a 21-14 game. It's live on Penn Live with Bruce Badgley on the call. Brian, this is an exciting night, man. We got lots of good games, and I'm glad to be on with you. What's cooking with you?
Well, if you guys don't want to listen to me and Austin talk football, you can always jump over to that game. You hear Bruce getting excited. I always love how Bruce gets so excited there. You know, he's like Gus Johnson over there getting all fired up. This is always a big game, Austin. Manheim Township and Harrisburg played for the District 3 title last year. That game went in overtime. Elias Cope made a big catch in overtime and won it. It was back and forth, and really Manheim had a chance to get back in there in the overtime too. It was a crazy game. Always a good game. Have a good relationship with Manheim's coach, Mark Evans. I did not expect Manheim Township to be this good this year. They lost Hayden Johnson last year. They lost Landon Kennel. Those kids are playing in college, a bunch of other good teams, and here they are. They've been really good. Mark's a great coach. And we thought Harrisburg would be here, but it's like I said, it's a 21-14 game right now. Harrisburg's.
Yeah, I mean, for context, the Blue Streaks are the number one seed, so they did a lot right. Their only loss of the year so far was to Wilson in their regular season finale, so they really put it down and showed their stuff. Yeah, so it's Harrisburg 21-14. It's been a penalty-filled game, according to Evan Wheaton, who's on the scene. Messiah Mickens has been the horse though for the Cougars. He had 14 carries for 113 yards and 2 TDs in the first half. So we got Harrisburg ball and Mickens again.
You look at that nice run to the outside there, big 74 right there, who was leading that run. Look at the tackle, Harrisburg coming off the edge and just driving upfield. That is Kevin Brown. A lot of people have him. He's a Penn State commit. He's the number one junior in the state. I think that's probably where he is. I think he's probably number one in the state. And he's back for the first time since I think he played in the first game of the season and he broke his foot in practice getting ready for Bishop McDevitt. And this is his first game back. That's a big get back for Harrisburg. And you see him with a nice block there, leading that charge on the field. Awesome.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to reporter Dan Sostek who broke that story.
They just earlier this up at fullback, Austin. Did you see that?
I missed it. No,
the play got blown up. I thought he was going to kill that kid. He actually kind of whiffed on that block. They lined up at fullback. That's kind of crazy. He's a really good defensive lineman too. Moves really well. And again, he had a broken foot, so we don't know how much, obviously you get a broken foot. I don't know how much running around he's been doing for the last 10 weeks, right? On a broken foot. A lot of full exercises and stuff. So.
But obviously, a big spiritual lift, if nothing else.
Look in the middle of the field, Austin.
They're moving it now.
I said last year, man, Kevin Brown, 2 years ago, Javen Williams, who's now at Penn State, the wild missing guy, he had a really fun film to watch for offensive lineman. Kevin Brown last year had a really fun film to watch for an offensive lineman. And I hate to tell you, Austin, but, guys, as we came on the air, this is a really good game we're watching. McDevitt was leading Mechanicsburg 26-14. And Austin was over there pumping up the Wildcats. And I said, look, this is going to be a 40-14 game. Austin, who's got the ball right there, Austin?
It looks like McDevitt does. Bottom line is I've been locked on this game throughout the night and have really watched a high level of football throughout.
Yeah, the reality is
McDevitt went up 14-0 early, and it looked like it was Jonte Quick was destroying the entire Mechanicsburg defense. It looked like this was men against boys. But Mechanicsburg rallies. Josh Smith has been the best player on the field for Mechanicsburg. Their star wide receiver. He's been awesome tonight. Going both directions. I've seen him make a number of great defensive plays as well. But they get back into it. They're end up taking the lead 14-12 because McDevitt's kicker is out, and they've been struggling on the PATs.
Yeah.
So the fact that Mechanicsburg even made a game of it, that was part of what moved me with their performances. They were just getting trounced. And then they found a way to claw back in. Now, of course, you're right. McDevitt's now up 26-14, and it looks like the result's probably going to go this way. But I've loved what Mechanicsburg's put together.
They're a great story, Austin. Again, Mechanicsburg is a great story. Mechanicsburg's kind of like the blue bloods in high school football, and then they've had some really lean years, and they're undefeated. Here they are. They put up a good fight, like you said. Josh Smith had an interception in the end zone, which was key. I think they settled down. I don't think Stone Saunders just played great through the second and third quarters here. The difference right now has been, Isaac Dolman's out. He's banged up. He got banged up in this game. They're running back for Mechanicsburg. And then McDevitt's been able to run the ball really well. And they've sort of been wearing down Mechanicsburg here. So, again, I got second and whatever here, 2nd and 8. And, this is a key. Like you said, kickers are out for McDevitt. You got to think right here, they're going for a touchdown out of the way. And look, that's a huge
interception.
That was a huge play from Mechanicsburg. I'm going to be honest. That is 2 really bad balls for Stone Saunders. And I love Stone Saunders. But did you see the interception by Josh earlier?
Yeah.
That's 2 really bad balls in the red zone by Stone. This really could be a 40-14 game now. No, but if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah.
But that's 2 bad throws by Stone Saunders in the red
zone. That interception was by Drew Freeland for Mechanicsburg, and now momentum shifts back, and my Wildcats are going to make you eat your words, Brian. No 40-14.
Well, look, I don't care what the coverage is here, and I don't care what kind of defense they're playing. Look, we got a little trickeration. Oh man.
Just dropped it out of nowhere. I don't care what the
coverage is here, and I don't care what the defense is here. You got to find a way to get the ball to Big 18 right there, your boy Josh Smith, and try to use maybe Eli Ryder's legs a little bit here to get him. Eli Ryder can run it pretty good, their quarterback. But you got to find a way to try to push this thing down the field to Josh Smith here. You got to score here, Austin. It's 9-10 left.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it gets interesting. It looks like I think there was a personal foul against McDevitt. So despite that, it was personal foul against McDevitt. So despite that play, that reception not occurring, which could have been a big gain, they are going to get 15 yards for.
That's big for them. Because you look at it right now, with if they don't score here, a 2-score game is starting to get the way McDevitt can run the ball too. It's starting to get a little bit, out there for him. Yeah, Stone, man, I love Stone Saunders. He's, if they win this game, it looks like they might. I don't know how many yards he's got in this game, but he came in, I think, about 700 yards off of the pace to maybe beat Alex Irby's all-time passing yardage record for the state. He going to Kentucky, but man, those are 2 rough throws he had. One he threw it late across the middle that Josh Smith intercepted down there, I think in the second quarter, maybe. Austin, does that sound right?
It was. Yeah, it was late in the second. That it was a moment where it looked like it was danger zone, and so it was a really big interception, a big turnover.
They were down. McDevitt was down probably about the 10-yard line, somewhere like that. He threw it later across the middle, and he threw it at Josh Smith, which, like you said, is potentially the best player on the field tonight. And, he's big. He's the one guy in Mechanicsburg you probably don't want to throw the ball at, and he threw it at him late, and he picked it. So, and then that last throw was just kind of
that last throw, while you're up 2 scores, it's no time to it's no time to really take a shot over the middle like that. It's more conservative time, I would think. Not conservative, but you want to be disciplined in your choices
I don't want to
when
pick on.
you're protecting a lead.
I wrote a whole story about him. When they won the state championship over Aliquippa. Look at that! Oh, he threw it, Austin.
He didn't go meet it. That's
So
one of your big things, Brian.
Yeah,
He just waited on it.
That was a bad throw by Eli Ryder, and then 2, Josh Smith could have went up and got that ball. He could have went and got it, like you said.
Was that Smith? I'm not sure if it was.
I think that was Smith out there.
Okay, might have been. He got it so airborne, it was just lofted and kind of slow. He saw it, saw his man open, but it was maybe not early enough anticipation on it.
I might have been wrong.
Yeah, it's tough.
But yeah, you got to go get that. It was not a great throw because he was wide open.
Yeah, that's one they're going to want back.
I did a story on Stone though, maybe Aliquippa, and one of the big plays in that early in the game was they came up to the line. I did a whole story about just how smart he was and how they kind of give him the keys and to call his own plays and stuff. And they came up to the line, and he noticed the one-on-one coverage with Taki Hayes covering Tyshawn Russell, who's not South Carolina. He audibled, hit a slant, and went for like 75 yards, and McDevitt just kind of jumped on him and ran away with it. So,
Brian, we just jumped over to Trinity versus Bermudian Springs. 27-all.
Oh, really good game.
Yes, sir.
I picked Trinity to win this. They've had a really remarkable season. Like, we've been talking, and like I think a lot of the guys in the office right now, early favorite is probably Mechanicsburg's Dave Heckard for Coach of the Year. But I think our guy here, and we talked about it last week at Yarnovich right at
Trinity. Kevin Yarnovich. Yep.
They lost so much, man. I mean, we were over there at the Harrisburg game, and Messiah Mickens has got a touchdown. He's a Penn State commit, and they lost so much, and they're still right here, and they're playing so well. Christian Joy and Jacob Ness have really had amazing seasons. I would think they're going to be high on our all-star list, but I think which is Bermudians obviously had a nice season too, and here we are, 27-all ball game. I'm watching the Mechanicsburg game in the background here too, and they got it at the 40, and Ryder just took a shot deep, and they missed on that.
Yeah, I got both the Harrisburg and the Mechanicsburg game here going on the other screens. I got my dual sack over there.
My phone's dinging, and I don't know where it's at.
Hey, speaking of, you mentioned Dave Heckard as a possible candidate for Coach of the Year here. Shout out to Dave Heckard for coming to Media Day last night for wrestling. I was impressed with so many. We had our winter sports media days at the PennLive offices on Wednesday and Thursday, and it was a great event for all groups. Got their professional portraits done by award-winning photographer Sean Simmers. We had the reporters going in the town hall room. We had Mateen Richardson and TJ doing the hype videos and everything. It was a really cool event. And the reason I bring Heckard up is because he was there, as well as Josh Smith, actually. They both came out for their winter sports media days. So that made me feel good that it was one of those things where it's like, no, I'm not blowing that off. Like that, this is still important, even though we have this important game coming up. Still want to be there for that event. So that was pleasing stuff.
Cannot find my phone, Austin. I hate that. I heard it go off. It always goes off during the game because everybody's texting me.
No, you're texting everybody. It's the other way.
Well, I can't make my own phone go off.
No, I understand that, but you are the active texter during games. Folks, we have a staff-wide text thread that Brian is quite a supplier of content for. So
I send out what I see, man.
I know.
I hate that. I hate when I'm noticed that.
Well, we're locked in here. It was just end of the third between Trinity and Bermudian Springs there, which you see on the screen, 27-all. We do have a few finals, though, from around the state, from what I'm seeing. It looks like Springfield defeated Garnet Valley in an All-Central League District 1 playoff game. They won 21-14 there. And it looks like another 6A District 1 game. Looks like CB South is going to see out a victory over North Penn.
Third down at about 5, 4. Isaac Dolman still sitting on the trainer's table.
Dan Sostek texted me.
Official word one way or the other, but based on what we see, I would suspect he will not be returning.
They're saying there Isaac Dolman's probably not coming back. This is huge right here. This is huge. She'll be back in the Mechanicsburg game. They're trailing 26-14 with 6:19 to go. Mechanicsburg was, McDevitt was knocking on the door. That was a brutal pass.
It was a little bit overthrown.
Ooh.
Reinhardt in the vicinity as well, and he
was but they were knocking on the door, and then they got an interception, and now they're down 4th and 4 now. And this might be the game, Austin. It's a 2-score game, 6 minutes. Mechanicsburg is not as explosive as McDevitt. They got to make these things count.
Yeah, this is a really big moment here.
This might be your game. It sounds funny to think that happen, but this is a very key moment.
8 seconds on the play clock. Ryder. Middle of the field.
Bad throw.
Too high.
And I'm not sure what he had down the field again. I have to go back and look. But
it looked like the first option wasn't there with the timing of that.
Yeah.
It didn't quite.
I almost think he could have.
Yeah, I had the same thought. Because 4 yards. Yeah.
He just should have took off and tried to run for it. I had to go back and look. It happened quick.
Yeah.
All right, so 6:01, you're Mechanicsburg. You need to make something happen here. You need to strip a fumble. You need to jump a pass in the flat. I would think that McDevitt's going to try to be safe with the ball and run some clock. They have had success running the ball. Maybe
Yeah, they've really McDevitt. That's the one thing they've just been looking the more explosive team. They've been moving the ball both through the air, and they just do a nice job getting the ball in the open field. I feel like it's one of the things that stood out to me, and that's where I thought early on it was going to be a blowout, because I felt like Mechanicsburg was not able to match them from a tackling standpoint when McDevitt was getting into open space. They remedied that to a large degree, but to make this competitive. But I think that's what's shown itself throughout much of the night.
So a neat sidebar to this Mechanicsburg story. John Lacey wrote about it this week. We talked about it before here. We even showed like him in his Mechanicsburg gear. But Brett Michaels is a former Mechanicsburg Wildcat. Every rose has a thorn. Brett Michaels, the rock star, and he's really been kind of following this season. I know he has a concert tonight, I think in Boston, but I'm sure he's probably taking peeks at the score. Really good stuff there. 2nd and 10.
Injured player coming off there for Mechanicsburg was Colin Stair. So now we're back in Mechanicsburg, or I'm sorry, Bishop McDevitt now, really trying to suck out the clock, basically, move those sticks. Not allow the Wildcats to get the ball back. And probably see out this 2-score win, but stranger things have happened.
And at least you need a 3-and-out from Mechanicsburg. You would love for McDevitt to somehow maybe fumble or, do something silly. Willie Marshall Travis has had a really good game. Evan Wheaton, I think, did a really good story on him earlier in the year and kind of his situation. I believe he was adopted as a child and has a really good backstory. He's had
that's correct. Yeah, he has. We've heard his name called a bunch of times. Yeah, Evan Wheaton did a great story on Willie. Willie, who grew up in Harrisburg, became an orphan at 13, and then has recently been adopted by the Travis family in Mechanicsburg. So, good story there. Really good intimate journalism, as we say, Brian.
Yeah.
As McDevitt picks up another first down, Drew Freeland with the tackle.
McDevitt just picks up the 4 to move the sticks. That's a big one because we just said about how they needed the 3 and out, and
they did it kind of just going right up the middle on them. So
yeah,
I mean, if you're Mechanicsburg, they didn't do anything too creative there. You needed that 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely got to get a stop on this series here.
1 or 2 timeouts, we're not sure which, but they've got to get a
You're down 2 scores. Again, if this is it for them, heck of a story. Nobody would have had them picked to be here at this point in the year, I don't think. And quite frankly, McDevitt has some chances in this game to make it a lot worse, and they came up with big plays to just hang around in this thing. And here with 3 minutes to go.
Hey, quick! I gave some bad intel there a moment ago. It was North Penn 21 over CB South 19. So 21-19, North Penn moves on in District 1.
I think we got Imhotep and St. Joe's Prep playing tomorrow, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because St. Joe's beat LaSalle last week, which was, maybe the state championship. And if that was a big hit. Maurice Barnes got nailed, man. You remember Maurice Barnes has a whole bunch of offers too, like Notre Dame and Colorado and stuff like that as a linebacker. But he got hammered there. Helmet came off. That kid's filling out, man. I'm looking at him run off the field here on the big screen over here, and he's Maurice Barnes has some muscles, man. Michael Dean says Williams Valley beat Schuylkill Haven, Williams Valley. Their kids, Austin, have been in our, when I did the Stars of the Week all season, they were in there a lot. They've had a really nice season. They're 12-1 right now. Their quarterback, Brady Schomper, I know had a really good year. Kai and Kresanowski been a really good player for them. I think a kid named Fletcher Thompson, Michael, maybe, had a really good year. When I first got here, Austin, I've been here about 8 years. Williams Valley had a really good program. I think they kind of they've always been solid. It seems like they're back having a really good year this year.
We got another final in District 3. Lampeter Strasburg 31, Twin Valley 13. The number 1 seeds move on in Class 4A? 4A, yeah. Yeah, LS has really been that's actually a rematch of a previous regular season meeting that was actually a blowout, an unexpected blowout. LS smashed Twin Valley late in the regular season, but LS gets it done again here in the playoffs. So they are moving on.
Austin, how about State College 75?
Oh, tell the people. I saw this one as it was going. What was it, Brian?
It was 75-14 State College over Williamsport. It was 42-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I caught that. Yeah, everybody else is like nearing halftime. State College, Ty Salazar, Eddie Corkery, just making people wish they didn't show up.
Michael said, Michael Dean said Shamokin is losing currently to Juniata. Yeah, Juniata, I think at one point was up 21-0. I haven't seen the updated score there. For people who are just coming on, we got the Mechanicsburg McDevitt game playing here in the background. Mechanicsburg is down 2 scores. 2:41 to go. They're really needing to come up with a stop here on 4th and 9.
Brian, Juniata 27-7 over Shamokin with under 6 to play in the game.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Jasper Sheps.
So this is
Do
huge.
his thing
This is
over
huge
there.
for Mechanicsburg right here. Can they stay alive?
Ooh, it got
They didn't
movement.
call the flag. They didn't throw a flag.
Can't believe it. Coach Wechter can't either.
Oh my gosh!
He didn't break the play.
He did not.
Wait, what just?
And Coach Wechter calls that timeout.
Oh wow!
He is not happy.
Look, Wechter is not a happy man.
Look,
I think that was a penalty. I don't know. They're saying he didn't break the plane. Looked to me like he came across.
Oh, he broke the plane.
Well,
Matter of fact, he so much broke the plane. The kid was beating himself up already.
Well, hey, man.
we've talked so much,
Playing at home.
about
Is that what it is?
when we look at some of these
Wechter's not happy though.
obviously,
Well, I know this. We're tuning in. This is the Mechanicsburg broadcast, which, by the way, they do a fantastic broadcast.
They really do, and shout out to the folks at Mechanicsburg for allowing us the use of their broadcast on PennZone. It's greatly appreciated.
Bardo doing some great things. Obviously, Willie Marshall, Travis Route. It has been a privilege.
Hey, Brian, Harrisburg took a 28-14 lead now on Manheim Township. I don't have who the latest scorer was. It was right as the fourth quarter began.
So we're gonna get a
Oh no! What?
quick kick from Stone, and he tried to
What happened there was
He tried to catch the ball. He fair catch signaled, and
without sounding like Al Bundy, there's a certain element to doing this. They will always be part
yeah,
of
that was one that you call fire, you get away from it, and you just take the hope that it's going to bounce into the end zone, which is probably going to.
Michael Dean says, great games going on right now. It is, Michael. It's actually, and like right here, the one we were watching, 2:33 to go. Mechanicsburg's had this really awesome season. They're undefeated. They're not always good. And love Jeff Wechter, love the guys at Mechanicsburg, but hey, they do get some transfers in there. Mechanicsburg really doesn't. They're kind of, they're the Mechanicsburg kids. And they've had this kind of remarkable season. But if they want to, what in the world, Austin?
I think it's getting crazy over there in Mechanicsburg, Brian. I don't know.
They're just trying to keep it alive right now, guys. We're watching this Mechanicsburg. Mechanicsburg has had a great season, Michael Dean said. And look, they're trying to keep it alive. They're down 2 scores, 2 minutes to go here. They need to score quick. You got to think, you got to at least push one down the field and give Josh Smith a chance to go up and get it.
Go score some points, kids. Have some fun. Ryder in the pocket, under pressure, being chased.
I don't know how he got out of there.
He's got good legs, man. Ryder's got good legs, and his arm strength and stuff has improved. He hasn't always had the biggest arm. He probably still doesn't, but he's a good athlete. He can run well. He's got a good enough arm.
Want to come across like it's sour grapes, but at the end of the day, you alluded to it. I'll flat out say it. The Wildcats, they populate a roster with kids that live in the district. The various townships.
The Mechanicsburg announcers are now going in on the fact that they have homegrown kids.
There was a
have homegrown kids because they're a private school, but again, we cover them both, and Jeff Wechter does a great job out there. He and I have a great relationship. I don't think it's not McDevitt's fault the way Pennsylvania high school, the PIAA legislates this thing,
that's often my argument too.
Yeah. Well, I've always said, all right, Austin, here you go. Do we have a legitimate? I said this on the podcast. Is the high school football legitimate in Pennsylvania? And the question comes down to this: if everybody's starting at the same starting point, then it is. But if everybody's not starting at the same starting point with the same rules to start, then it's not.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I
had a good conversation last year, I want to say, with Pope John Paul head coach Scott Reed, who was the longtime Perkiomen Valley coach. Had a really successful run there, took a few years off, and then recently came back to Pope John Paul. And they've been approaching a real powerhouse there in District 1 at the smaller school classification. They're moving on in in the playoffs. They won 36-0 over Valley View in the 4A playoffs, so they continue to be a contender. One of the good insights that I got from him, though, having seen both sides of the coin, was that the talent doesn't just automatically show up there. Like, there is a process that goes into it, and you do have to keep the flow of kids into the school, period. Whether that's football specific or not. That is the one piece with the public schools that, kids are going to come and you can cultivate them. It's not as easy. Now, when you're a powerhouse like McDevitt, yeah, kids are seeking out the football program and they want to be there for football factors.
I'm gonna cut you off again. Oh, you throw it away, kid.
Yeah.
You had a nice throw over the middle to Josh Smith. You got to get up on the line. I don't know why you stood there. Throw it out the back of the end zone, kid.
Yeah. Oh man.
40 seconds on the game clock. Ryder.
It's looking like
who took a forearm to the back.
Here's the thing, Austin.
It's looking pretty casual there.
They're not all playing by the same rules, though. And it's PIAA.
Oh, agreed. I just like to present the other point, because I feel like everybody is on this is unfair, and like it is. I think we both agree with that it is not the same playing field. I just do like to bring up the other side of the coin, because it's not
we cover
it's
both.
not entirely simple.
We cover private and we cover public, and we like both sides. Obviously, I agree. It's not simple. I think that the only thing you really can do is open it up so kids can go where they want to go. That's the only way, Oh my Lord! Great season, but I think we've had some bad decision making and some. Throw the football into the end zone to Josh Smith.
Yes,
and I don't care who they got on him. Let's do it. Because now, even if you score, you're out of time. Austin, this is a disaster.
So that's going to do it for the Wildcats with 5.4 seconds to go. Bishop McDevitt.
That was a rough way to go. It was a really good game that didn't end so great. But
no,
let's put a bow on Mechanicsburg, though, because they really were one of the feel-good stories of the year, going undefeated through the regular season to win the Keystone. They, of course, had the tragic incident of the death of running back Isaac Dolman's father. They rallied around Dolman and family in a really special way 3 weeks ago. Dolman was back in the lineup last week, and they rode that wave through. So really great season for the Wildcats. A lot of good wins, great performances from them. And I know it was the community rallied around it, and we're really bringing the atmosphere. So,
they're giving them a lot of, maybe a standing ovation of sorts there. Look, they were down 2 scores. They made a run out of here. A nice play across the middle, set them up in good position with just over a minute to go to maybe score. Don't want to beat Eli up too bad. Eli Ryder probably should have. Well, not maybe. He should have thrown it out the back of the end zone, but he's a high school kid under pressure. That's it. Mechanicsburg's remarkable season comes to an end. McDevitt moves on. How about Bedford has defeated Steel High 24-15 from what we've gotten here. So your Rollers are out of it after having a remarkable season. Austin. They've won 3 of the last 4. 1A state titles. They move up to 2A, and they lose to Bedford 24-15. We're back on the Trinity Bermudian Springs game. What's our score here, Austin?
That is a good question, my friend.
34-30. Who's winning? I just got 34-30. I don't even know who's winning.
Bermudian Springs.
Bermudian Springs is up 34-30. How much time we got left, producer Megan?
Oh, we got 6 minutes.
6 minutes. So the Shamrocks trying to hang on here.
The Shamrocks currently have the ball.
They have the ball. Bermudians in the red. Like we said, this has been really a season to remember for Trinity too, when they lost so much, and kids like Christian Joy and Jacob Ness have really stepped up for them. Now they need a little something here down the stretch.
To turn it back to McDevitt quickly, they're going to face. Well, it's not quite done yet, but it will be in a matter of moments. Exeter. So we've got the number 6 seed versus the number 8 seed in District 3 Class 5A for the final. So do with it what you will with those seeds. I think those two teams were. Exeter was a curiously seeded number 8 seed, and of course McDevitt in their bump to the Commonwealth this year, they were a sneaky, if you will, 6 seed. Everyone knew that that's not their actual seeding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean their losses were Harrisburg and State College. So
right.
Other scores again, we have. If you don't want to listen to Austin I Talk, we got the Harrisburg Manhattan Township game streaming on PennLive.com. You can head over there on the website. It's 28-14 right now. Harrisburg's up in that game. The last score we had there: Wilson 21, Central York 20 in 6A. Really good game going on there. Again, State College 75, Williamsport 14 final. Looks like Parkland beat Emmaus, which is, Emmaus last week had a really good win over Easton, and then Parkland gets the win. That's where our guy Nick Dawkins is.
That's right.
And 5A, Roman Catholic beat East Stroudsburg South tonight. That's Samaj Beals, Coach Rick Preet. They got some really good players on Roman Catholic, man. Upper St. Clair lost to Peters Township 7-3. That was a good game out west. We just got off of McDevitt, defeated Mechanicsburg 26-14 5A. Pine Richland 28-7 over Bethel Park, and another good game out west in 5A. Like I said, Exeter 48-14 over Conestoga Valley in 5A, so they'll play, like you said, McDevitt next week. District 3 5A. That's our title game, right? Yeah.
What's that, McDevitt and Exeter? Yeah. Wilson over leading Central York 28-20. They would face the winner of Harrisburg and Manheim Township. Harrisburg, of course, leading by 2 scores.
Juniata closes out Shamokin 27-7. Shamokin beat Jersey Shore last week, right? Am I right on that one?
I remember Jersey Shore losing. Was it Shamokin?
I thought that was the crazy play.
Oh, yes. Yeah, let's tell the people about that one who didn't see it. I asked you to put together a quick story on it after deadline.
Yeah. I fumbled that for you. I actually didn't. I wasn't for the night, but I should have. It was a great. It was a talker. It was a good. We should have had it on Penn Live for our people to know, but for the people who missed it, Shamokin, Jersey Shore is kicking the extra point, right? Or is it a field goal? It's extra point. I thought they had to make the kick. Shamokin clearly jumps off sides. And no call, and blocks it. No call.
Yeah, it was wild scenes. It was as offsides as you've seen in your life, and they just didn't call it. And then so the play got blown up to the point that I think they ate it and still tried to get the play off. They didn't get the kick blocked. It was the holder tried to make something happen, but it was wild. It was a wild scene, and it was the game-ending scene. Yeah, it was a PAT that would have tied it.
I'll say this. For Juniata to beat, though, a team that beat Jersey Shore, which we know is a pretty good program with some good players. I mean, that's they're in the mid-pen. We don't get to see them as much. Hear a little clip from our office and whatnot, but that's kind of a testament to them. We know, like I said, Jasper Sheps has been on this program a lot. A good win for them. Hey, Troy, down in 2A, they destroyed your 7 consecutive state champion Southern Columbia last week, and this week they beat Warrior Run 59-14 Austin. Clarion area beats Farrell 41-6 in 2A. Williams Valley 28-13 over Schuylkill Haven. Brian Stevens said, "Let's go McDevitt." Jimmy Heichel texted him. McDevitt, Mechanicsburg scored. Final there was 26-14 Austin. McDevitt won.
Oh no! Hold on.
There he is.
Fellas, I don't know if you can hear me.
We can.
I have 2 of the stars of the game. Jonte Quick, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Reinhardt had 3 INTs today. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the phone off to them. I hope they can hear you because it's loud out here.
Okay. We'll give it a shot. Gentlemen, what a win. What stands out most about what stands out most about what you guys were able to accomplish tonight?
We're going to keep walking. I can't hear nothing.
It is loud out there in Mechanicsburg, man.
What? Hang on.
We're walking around Mechanicsburg with McDevitt.
There we
Hello?
go. Jonte, you got us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, beautiful, man. Hey, what stands out most about the performance tonight? It was a tough game, man. What stands out most about the performance?
I think it's our game plan personally. We started to install new things, and we persevered through the penalties. We really came out to play. We did our jobs. Coaches put us in the right position.
Hey,
Jonte, it looked like you were smashing them early on. Where you get out to the 14-0 lead, you were on fire. I thought. They get back into it though. How did you feel like the ebbs and the flows of the game then went as you guys get up early, but then it's a battle from thereafter?
The phone turned off.
Having a technical difficulties there.
It was a battle. We kept fighting. Our team stayed together through it all, even when they was coming back and even when they were winning at one point.
Tyler, there's a lot of stars on that Mitchell McDevitt roster. A lot of guys whose names get in the headlines. You haven't always been one that's got his name in the headline. To come out tonight, have the game, you had 3 INTs, man. How good does it feel to go out and do that in a game like this? Which really, you guys don't get those turnovers. Mechanicsburg did give you guys a scrap. Those turnovers were key. I mean, how good does it feel to have that kind of performance in a game like this tonight?
It was great. Ask him right here. He had 2 of them. He had 2 interceptions tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, we were asking Tyler. Yeah, Tyler.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I was saying, McDevitt, you guys got a lot of big names on that roster. They're always end up in the headlines. You haven't always been in the headlines, man. To come out and get those interceptions tonight, have those key plays in a game like this that was so close where you guys might got those turnovers, Mechanicsburg gave you guys a fight, right? How good did it feel to come out and have a performance like that tonight? Put your name in the headlines.
Man, it feels great. Like I said before, coaches put me in the right spot to make plays. I really just followed by them. It feels amazing. It's great.
I got to go check your film out now, man.
Yep.
What you doing?
We'll do.
Well, you guys got Exeter next week.
Yes, sir.
5A, how do you guys? That's a tough team. Another tough team that can run the football. What do you guys got to do to keep this thing rolling?
We're gonna prepare all week. This week of practice, we're gonna go hard. We're gonna compete at practice.
We got to limit penalties as well.
For sure.
Anything about Mechanicsburg? Look, Mechanicsburg has had spectacular seasons. Kind of a dream year for them. Anything about them surprise you guys tonight? What can you guys say about them and what they had on the field tonight?
Man,
It was a good team.
they're a good team. They kept fighting.
It was
too.
well-rounded. They didn't give up. That's something different that most of these teams don't really do.
That's awesome, man. It's always awesome to see give your opponent a little bit of love there, man. Listen, you guys are having a great year. Austin, you got anything else for the guys?
No, I mean, guys, fantastic performance. Well done. Congratulations. Yeah, go have some fun. Go enjoy it, but not too much. Stay hungry, right?
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
No, Wack, I said hello.
I got a report, so I'll talk to y'all later.
Yo, he wants to talk to you guys for real.
And he's going.
34-30, Bermudian Springs is up Suzanne on Trinity, and we've been following that game.
We're
And
back.
really good game going on. It's been a really great season. Trinity and Mechanicsburg probably two of the better stories in high school football in Central PA this year. Suzanne, as far as teams and what they've been able to do. So, and that's the game we have here. Obviously, Bermudian folks is in the red. Trinity is in your white.
Brian, I got my second screen on Harrisburg and Manheim Township. That's got 3:31 left. Harrisburg is leading by 2 scores, 28-14. So the Cougars look like they are taking out the top seeds, and we'll be on to the District 3 6A final. They will most likely face Wilson.
Hey, man, the Barksdale guys, the Barksdale boys out in Western PA, Deron and Donald, they have lost to Seton LaSalle out of the city, 27-13. Seton LaSalle has a quarterback who's had a really good year. Michael, drawing a blank on his last name, had a couple big games for them. Westinghouse in 1A, 61-6 over Wimber. Of course, they famously won a game a couple weeks ago playing with only 10 players on defense and only 11 overall.
Michael Pasterik.
Yeah,
Michael Pasterik is the QB that you're looking for.
Yeah, he's been in our top performers several times this year. He's had a couple 5 or 6 touchdown games. Had a really nice season. Fort Cherry with Matt Sigg at quarterback, the Penn State commit. Favorites for a lot of people, along with Westinghouse out in 1A. They beat Jeanette 49-14, so that's a big statewide score. Clareton 24, Bishop Canavan nothing in 1A. Muncie 47, Lackawanna Trail 46 in 1A. Port Allegheny 62, Red Bank Valley 28 in 1A. So that's kind of your 1A rundown there for state ranked teams. Awesome.
Love it. Got a good amount of people watching our Harrisburg Manheim Township stream. 217. Not too shabby.
Yeah, if you guys, we said this before, but if you're just popping in, and you're like, hey, that game's still going on. How much time's left in it, Austin?
3:10.
3:10,
and
28-14. We are streaming that on PennLive.com. If you're a subscriber or want to be, pop over. You can, if you don't want to listen to us talk, you can check that out.
Harrisburg's deep in the red zone. They're about to put this baby to bed.
Trinity obviously needs to make. How much time we have left in this Trinity game, guys? I can't see the clock.
Yeah.
1 minute.
So Trinity needs to, like, a miracle to happen, basically.
Yeah, and the clock is still running.
This is you can see the heads hanging. So it looks like Trinity is not going to pull this off, Suzanne. And Austin, I got to say again, this is, as you know, and I won't lie, I don't think I've ever been a homer, but it's particularly when you cover teams. Look, I mean, you see that, right? And if you're Penn Live right now and you're covering, you can't help but feel that emotion. And so often when I've covered games, Megan, I go in and whatever happens. But you can't when you see the kids' season comes to an end like that, especially if it's a team you're covering. It's a little emotional too, reporter, I'll have to say, Austin. You know why? Because it's tangible, right? It doesn't matter if you don't have to be a homer to feel the emotion in the air. And especially when covering a team when you know those people and you know how invested they are in it, it's just and that those kids from Trinity, Harrisburg put this one away.
Mm-hmm.
Nehemiah Ewell, great story. He busted up the middle. Let's talk about Nehemiah Ewell real quick. Before the season, Harrisburg gets Deontay Sheffy transferring in from State College. 2 years ago, as a freshman, Sheffy ran for 1,700 yards, led the Mid-Penn in rushing. He's a Syracuse commit. They also get Messiah Mickens transferring in from Trinity, another running back. He's a Penn State commit. Nehemiah Ewell, all he did last year was run for 1,200 yards. He was kind of like the guy that nobody talked about, but he's still been a very consistent player for them. And obviously he scores a touchdown here to put this one to bed. Harrisburg's up 35-14 with 2 minutes to go. So they're going to beat Manheim Township. Mark Evans and his Blue Streaks had another really good year. I'm not sure anybody really thought they would be this good outside of Manheim Township. And they've been really good. He's a good coach. But Harrisburg gets Kevin Brown back, they're going to move on.
Yeah, throughout the year, you guys had hyped up Harrisburg early on in the year, and I think rightfully so, especially as a returning state semifinalist with a ton of talent. But there were times throughout the regular season where I was slightly unconvinced. It's like just some of the results and stuff like that. I was like, were these guys right about the Cougars? But it feels like they just kind of came along later. They had a lot to figure out. I mean, well, gosh, if we go back to the beginning of the year, they're potentially returning all-state quarterback Sean Lee Jr. was ruled ineligible. A week before the year. So then they had Jayon Lewis under center. I mean, they just had a lot of curveballs early on, and they got their doors blown off by LaSalle in week 1. And a couple funky games in the early going. And so it feels like it's been a longer run of them trying to find themselves. But I think with a performance like that, where, to beat the number 1 seed in the district by 3 scores, they've proven it now. And it seems like Cal Everett's group are rounding into form at the right time.
Well, one of the things I'll tell you is, again, across probably the last, I've been here like 8 years, and I think Cal Everett has been probably one of the best coaches in Pennsylvania easily. Made it to 3 state championship games across that stretch. They do a really good job of figuring out their personnel, adjusting to it, and then getting better throughout the season. For instance, last year, when Manheim Township was really good, undefeated through the regular season, they lost to them in the first game of the season, came back and beat them in the district title game. They get better as the season goes on, and they have done that for, like I said, the better part of the last decade. Really kind of the only fumble I'll say Harrisburg ever had, in my opinion, and it still blows my mind, is how the team with Micah Parsons at running back and Anderson Butts at wide receiver and Ronald Kent, who's now in the Canadian Football League. Shaquan Anderson Butts was a Under Armour All-American. I don't know how they lost to Governor Mifflin the year I was getting married, 2018. But, outside of that, they really, really kind of performed it in the biggest moments as good as they could have. Firing up the other TV here now as we wind down the night. So when we leave this broadcast tonight, Austin, I'm almost ashamed to say that I'm going to watch Mike Tyson box Jake Paul.
Mike.
I'm ashamed to even say. I feel like the fact that this boxing match exists is a testament to. It somehow fits perfectly where we are as a country right now.
A big bold statement that I do not disagree with.
Make with that however you want. That that in 2024, the big event on Friday night is Jake Paul versus 60-year-old Mike Tyson, and there are people who are excited about this. I'm gonna watch it just because it's kind of like a car wreck.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that I definitely try to sit out, just because even though I always said, Brian, that if I ever wrote a book, I've never had aspirations to write a book. I said the one book that I would actually be interested in writing was a Mike Tyson biography. I just find him a really interesting and compelling figure throughout the course of his career and life. The change that he made to be he was turned into an animal basically as a fighting machine early on. But the real guy is, I think, a softer, more docile creature. So, which he showed in the latter years, and now I guess he needs the paycheck.
There's an aspect to Mike that is, and we're way off. We're way down the rabbit hole, folks, which we'll do from time to time. But the real aspect of Mike is there's a lot of the darkness from Mike comes from weakness, where he was exploited as a young kid and young man. And I worried about something like this is this exploiting Mike even more. But Mike, I think, has side businesses and growing things, and I think he does well with that. So, I think he has money. I don't think he needs it, but
you think? Okay, so it's not okay.
Mike has businesses.
Okay.
That are legal in Pennsylvania and his state as well.
So is this a moral opposition to Jake Paul then?
I don't like Jake Paul. I mean, I certainly think that this is not necessarily on the up and up. But I got to watch this like a car crash. Anyway, back to high school football. Harrisburg is going to win here, folks. If you're tuning in, they're going to beat the Manheim Township Blue Streak 35-14. Was probably a little bit better. I mean, for 3 quarters, probably better than a 35-14 game. It's probably it's a little bit closer, about a 1-2 score game. And then Harrisburg pulls away with a late Nehemiah Ewell touchdown. They get the ball again. They're going to close it out. Who do they play next week, Austin? Well, you got the scoreboard here.
They will face Wilson, a 28-20 winner over.
That is also a good game. Where's that game at?
TBD.
That's also a good matchup. They played Wilson one year in the playoffs, Austin. We went down there, and it was one of the coldest games I've ever covered. And I was in the full face mask and everything. I was on the sidelines. I have photos of me at that game. I looked like I was getting ready to rob a bank. I was covered in everything.
Eskimo Joe.
And they won. They won somehow at Wilson. And ever cover a game at Wilson?
I have not.
I will give them big props. They do fast like a college program, man.
Love that.
They even ran, because I work like you. I like to stay down on the sideline, and they even ran them down to reporters on the sideline after the game.
Look at that.
Yeah, we're doing interviews, and they come down with final stat packets.
That is impressive.
Yeah, because I'm getting that. I can't feel my hands or my feet. I'm getting ready to do the interviews, and I got to get back in the car, get the heater going, and
do
my final tabulations, and then here's a whole stat packet. So that made a big difference.
Does it ever? Yeah, folks, you do not take for granted the fact the high school football reporter's job of keeping full stats from the game, doing interviews, trying to turn over a story within an hour and a half with full stats, full game coverage, interviews. It's quite hardest task in sports writing is covering a high school football game.
So let's look at this District 3 scoreboard real quick, because I want to say another guy we haven't talked enough about is Andrew Irby, and it's really because of their success, winning 3 of the last 4 state championships in 1A. We're going to have one heck of a discussion about who your coach of the year should have been. I mean, if Harrisburg goes on, if McDevitt goes on, if any of our mid-pen teams go on, I guess those are only 2 still alive, though, right? When State College, they go on and play for state championships. Their coaches get in the mix, obviously. Cal Everett's done some really nice things, considering they've had some adversity, losing Sean Lee, losing Kevin Brown, Matt Lentil, Lentil at State College has had a really great year. But Steel High lost a ton of talent, and they had to move it to 2A. They put together a really great season. Ends tonight, 24-15 against Bedford. The same for Trinity. Great season. Lost a ton of talent. A lot of kids transferred out. Lost their head coach. They lose tonight 34-30 to Bermudian Springs. And in Mechanicsburg, which was undefeated going into the night, loses to Bishop McDevitt 26-14. All three of those coaches, Kevin Yarnovich at Trinity, Dave Heckard at Mechanicsburg, Andrew Irby at Steel High have done amazing jobs this year. So our discussion for Coach of the Year is going to be a tough one, I think, when you get down to it. Maybe Jeff Wechter, for you McDevitt fans, maybe McDevitt makes a run at the state title again. Maybe Cal Everett and his Cougars make a run at it. Maybe State College makes a run at it and makes it easier. Juniata's still in there. I overlooked them. They just had a nice win tonight, too. So probably we haven't talked about them a lot. Their coach has done a really nice job, too. So there'll be some interesting discussions to be had across the next couple of weeks as far as when we look at end of the year All-Stars, Austin.
Yeah, I'm working to get trying to get the brackets updated, Brian, so I can bring them onto the screen and show the people what we got going. But my computer is deciding to. The Chrome does not want to play along.
ScoreStream told me I had a fatal error.
Yes, I encountered that as well.
Come on, ScoreStream. Big shout out to ScoreStream. That's really kind of a neat app. Seems like it's pretty close. You're around. Who do we got? Got somebody up. Got nobody popping on. For you folks that are just jumping on, I'll carry you 75-14. State College won tonight over Williamsport. That was 42-0 at the end of the first quarter. Austin, what do you do when you're in the playoffs and your team's down 42-0 at the end of the first quarter?
Go to the snack bar, get some coffee or hot chocolate, maybe. I don't know.
I think we start cheating.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Well, what would be your brand of cheating?
Grease up some footballs. I don't know.
Get the
rub some pepper in their eyes on the bottom of the.
Oh, there we
go.
I don't know. We got. Hey, Tom DiMartini.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're doing well.
Good. We have Bermudian Springs coming up with a 34-30 victory over Trinity to win the District 3A title. I have quarterback Lance Hubbard here from Bermudian Springs. Did it with his legs and his arm tonight. I have Austin Herzog and Brian Linder here from PennZone. Go ahead, guys.
Lance, this is your first time being on PennZone, but you've been in our top performers for the state a couple times. Your brother's a pretty good player in your team too, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
Are you guys twins?
No, he's a senior. I'm a junior.
Oh, okay. All right. So did he like rough you up any as being a little bit older brother, or you?
Oh yeah, he's always on me. He's always telling me bad passes and all kinds of stuff.
Well, hey, look, you're the QB, so that's what it comes down to. Look,
yeah,
this Trinity team has been a really good story in Central Pennsylvania all year. They lost a lot from last year. Some guys transferred out. They've been scrappy. Looks like it was a scrappy game tonight, but you guys have been a really good story too. For people that don't know, Bermudians had a really great year here in Central PA. This was a tough game. What was the difference for you guys tonight, man?
I think it was just our attitude. Our attitude at the beginning of the game wasn't great. Our coach told us about how he was down 3 touchdowns in his district championship game. So when he told us that, being down just a field goal wasn't so bad.
Yeah. You guys,
he hit his brother with a touchdown pass at one point.
There you go. You guys, man. Again, what's your record now? We're catching. What's your record now?
11-1.
11-1. That's what I thought. I was going back whether you guys were undefeated or just had one loss. Bermudian has been a solid program since I've been here, Austin. But this is one of the best years I can remember for you guys, man. What's this year been like for you guys? Obviously, it could keep going or it could end any time now in the next couple of weeks, right? When you look at it, what has this year been like?
It's been great. Our seniors have really been pushing all us younger and underclassmen. They've been great role models. Most of our seniors have been starters since freshmen, so they've had the experience, and they've all been in the weight rooms. They all squat and bench big numbers. So just that push to get us going is great from them.
When you have a group of seniors like that, how important is it to keep this thing going and try to get to Cumberland Valley?
What was that? Sorry.
So when you have a group of seniors like that, how important is it to you as an underclassman in this team to try to keep this thing going and get to Cumberland Valley? I mean, it adds a little something to it, right?
Oh yeah, it definitely does. They all have worked so hard, so just winning this for them is great. So yeah.
Lane, you've had to bring something of your own level to the table, though. When you feel that responsibility to perform well, what has gone right for you individually this year?
It's definitely my line. My line has been great this year. I think I've only been sacked like once or twice this year. So
oh wow,
yeah, my line's been great, and then just all the threats we have on offense is just great.
Is that why you need to be a running quarterback to be a dual threat, just so you can get hit every once in a while? Since passing, you stay too clean.
Oh yeah, they've always wanted me to be a running quarterback, a mobile quarterback. So this week or these district games, they've been really harping on me to get on the running game.
Well, that explains why Lane's always he's been in our top performers in the state a couple times, man. Offensive line protecting you like that, man. That makes it a little bit. But you're a good player, man, and you guys have had a great season. Bermudian's not really a team, like I said, that you always see in the headlines, right? What's it been like for this community to have the year you guys have had?
Oh, it's great. The crowd tonight was awesome. We packed the stands. We packed the stands last week. Just the whole community has shown up for us, and it's great. It feels great.
This is kind of what we were talking about, Austin, too. Like, we cover both sides, private schools and stuff. But Bermudian, you guys have probably been together your whole life, right? You guys are more like the community team.
Oh yeah, we've all grown up. All the seniors, kindergarten all the way up through here. So yeah, they've had arguments. They've had great times. It's been great.
Well, you guys are one of the great high school football stories here in Central PA, man. It was a good win for you guys tonight. That was a really good scrappy Trinity team you guys beat. And hey, man, keep it rolling. We look forward to talking to you some more. Austin, you got anything else for him before we go?
No, I just want to congratulate him on a great win, man. Well done. Keep it rolling.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
All right. Good stuff.
You can tell he was.
We got Evan Wheaton coming on right away. Evan Wheaton, how are you?
Just coming back from Harrisburg, Mannock Township. I have Kevin Brown with me. What up? Kevin Brown making his grand return from total domination here. Messiah Mickens 8 tonight, 19 carries, 100 ever. Nehemiah Ewell also getting into the end zone there with this guy helping the run blocking. So seriously big win.
What? Yeah. Oh, we got together in practice Wednesday after I got cleared, and the rest is history. It was great.
Kevin, I was man. I was watching some of your blocks out there, man, and you were getting them down the field, man. You were blocking down the field tonight. How fired up, how pumped up were you to get back in it in a game like this, especially knowing you guys' history with Manhound Township?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. The atmosphere in practice was just different. Just everything was different. Our young guys stepped up in practice squad. Our coaches stepped up. We got the best O-line coaches, my dad and Coach Shannon himself, Bellamy. Oh, come on. And there he is, the best running back in the country. Come on now.
now you got
what? Listen, what?
Bad. It's gonna get bad.
A pair of Penn State guys. Together here.
Oh my
Hey, Kevin,
Yeah.
before we get Messiah on here real quick, Kevin, I wanted to ask, one of the things about Harrisburg I was telling Austin is you guys have gotten better every year as the season goes on, right? And you guys
Yeah.
have been through some adversity. You get hurt, Sonny going out at the beginning of the year, loses Conley, obviously, at the eligibility. Where are you guys at right now as far as how you're improving and where are you guys at on that road that you always go on, getting better as the season goes on?
The small details, man. We finalize them every week as we progress, and the holes are there. He's shooting them. We have the best running back trio in the country. Nehemiah, Sheffy, and Messiah, the best. And then if the holes are open, they're scoring.
Messiah.
And we're finalizing everything every week. Film, practice, nutrition. We're making sure we're getting our guys enough protein, electrolytes, everything.
Kevin, what was it like being out for this stretch? How difficult was it, Kevin, emotionally to be out during this stretch and knowing you want to be there for your guys? What was that like as you're watching the team kind of go through the year and you're so desperate to be out there?
It was frustrating. I'm not going to lie. It was frustrating being on the sideline. I can't do anything but cheer my guys on. And now here I am. All this built up momentum in my heart to play is now here. I put it out on the field.
Messiah. Man, you know, I've watched you. We did a first story when you were still in 8th grade, remember?
Yeah.
You are really rolling the past few weeks. How good does it feel to you to finally really kind of get it rolling down the stretch here with Harrisburg?
Honestly, I just remain humble through it all because a couple months ago they said I couldn't play 6A ball. They said I could only play 2A ball. So it's just me always believing in myself, knowing that the kind of player I am. I know when you're good at football, you can ball anywhere in the country. So just me trusting myself and just honestly my dad sticking with me through it all, you know, because stuff like that gets hard on a kid with the mindset, you know, you just reading the newspaper and reading comments and just, you know, sometimes they can mess with your confidence, but it just never shook me. So just me staying confident and building with this program.
Yeah, I'll ask you about it, you know, because look, you do got a lot of mouths to feed on Harrisburg as far as getting the ball to people. Then you guys lose your starting quarterback. Then Kevin goes out. You probably had some games that weren't as big as we saw from you in the past early in the season, right? How were you able to keep that confidence? What kept you going to where you're really kind of rolling down the stretch now again?
Honestly, it's just trusting the team. Our coaches do a good job of just keeping us on track. You know, Coach Cal always talks about you're gonna go through adversity. So when it hits, it's two things you can do. You can either overcome it or you can fold. And that's just not what we're about. We're just about overcoming adversity. We just fight every single week, regardless of who's out.
What up, boy?
You know, we gotta honestly. I call this an Avengers team. To be honest, the only time we can lose if we're not on the same page. And the first game, you could tell things was a little rocky and shaky, but after that, you know, we just kept rolling.
When you're a Penn State commit, big time nationally ranked recruit, though, everybody expects you to come out and run for like 300 yards a game, right? So when you don't early on, like that is, and you had a lot of success before. Is that how was that? That had to be new to you, right? So like, was there a time when at first you were like, man, this is kind of like everybody's expecting me to run for 300. I ran for 75, and now people are like, you know, digging on me or whatever. Or like, how did you handle that?
People definitely expect me to run for 105 touchdowns, but when you really play running back and you break stuff down, you got to look at your carries and how many yards you get in the game. Honestly, I'd rather average 15 yards a carry, if anything. So honestly, just knowing analytics and me not even caring about my stats, to be honest, I'd rather win a state championship than anything. So yeah, that doesn't really matter to me. Stats don't really matter to me.
Austin, this guy had an offer in 8th grade before he ever played it down. We did a story on him way back then. Texas A&M offered him, and now he's doing great. I do want to. I know you got a question for him, but we were pointing out on PennZone. We were watching this game. We streamed it on Penn Live. Having Big 74 back out there, man. That guy's blocking down the field, finishing blocks 10, 15 yards down the field. What's it like running behind him, and what does it bring to that offense to have him back in the fold?
I'm laughing because honestly, it actually is crazy seeing him move. He can do things I can't even do. I can't even do a backflip, and he can do that. So just him being who he is, he just demolishes like honestly everybody. So it's just me trusting him, trusting the line. It's beautiful.
Kevin, I've always said that. Kevin, if you don't play in the NFL, I think you're going to fight in the UFC.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Oh
I
wow.
don't think I can live
Okay.
with myself if I can't do something professionally.
Or maybe like he might even wrestle in WWE, Austin. He looks like that kind of guy.
He's got the look,
come on
man. He's
now.
got the look. Hey, I do want to ask Messiah. Messiah, was this the best performance of the year from you guys?
Honestly, I think the best is yet to come for this team. I just think this was a good team overall win. Some things kept Manheim Township in the game. A lot of things didn't go our way. I don't think this was our best performance at all. At halftime, things got rocky. That we went through adversity right there. We could have scored before half. And no, I don't think that was our best performance. Not at all.
Okay.
This is always a good game. You guys, Manheim. Next week, you guys got to play Wilson. That's always a really good game too. Kevin, I can't remember if you played them yet in your career. I would imagine you probably have.
My freshman year in playoffs, we
I
did.
appreciate it.
Cooked them.
Cooked them.
You know they're gonna. Hey, but they're gonna be tough, right? They don't mess up a lot. They're a good program.
No,
Like,
absolutely. The coaching staff there is excellent.
Yeah.
They're excellent every year, and we
So
know
how do you
that.
guys keep this rolling? What do you guys got to do next week, man, to try to keep this rolling?
Celebrate tonight, back in tomorrow, and we're film study, watching this game, every little detail. The nutrition, as I talked about, nutrition's a big thing for us. Electrolytes, getting their time on practice, getting there, and then not going through emotions. Just
So look,
doing our stuff.
Austin, I'm a 3-4 nose tackle right now, man. I'm coming out on passing downs, Kevin. I got some way extra LBs on me, but I can tell by the way this guy talks, man. He's eating steaks and lifting plates.
Oh my gosh!
You know,
Yeah,
I can already tell,
he lives it, man.
I can already tell how
Guys,
he's talking about
they're
nutrition.
getting ready to get the buses out of here. I don't want these guys to get left.
All right, boys.
All right,
Thanks for coming on.
Guys for you here.
Kevin Brown's
Appreciate
fired
you
up. I
guys.
thought you could stay all night, Evan.
Best of luck
you,
next
guys.
week.
Love it. Love it.
Guys, Messiah Mickens again. 19 carries, 147 yards, 3 touchdowns. Quincy Brannon, I don't believe I mentioned him, came up with a late pick in the fourth quarter. Manheim Township was building some momentum there, trying to dig out of its deficit. It was only a one-score game at that point, if I recall, and that effectively iced it. And then they went back down and scored with the dagger. So they're back in the District 3 6A final, where the Harrisburg Cougars are chasing 4 straight.
Kevin Brown was fired up, man.
Yeah,
Love
he was
it.
pumped, man. He was pumped before he joined PennZone. He was screaming. And look, I'll take all the nutrition advice from that guy.
Evan, did you watch him blocking 10 and 15 yards down the field, finishing blocks?
Yeah, man. He's out here pancaking people, and he came back at a right time. Good for the postseason. There was early talk about him maybe being ready for state title game should they make it that far. But District 3 6A semis, that's definitely ahead of the original schedule. Obviously, it was a low blood flow area with the Jones fracture. So he's made a speedy recovery. I guess they really take that nutrition seriously.
Well, and I think you could see too from the emotional boost that he gives. He's a personality. He's a presence, not just on the field, but spiritually. So it doesn't surprise me that they were able to put together something as well as they did tonight.
Yes, and that's something you kind of see on the sidelines, especially Battle of the Berg stands out to me, how big that environment was. I mean, he has been on the sidelines firing these guys up, and now they get that on the field again. So he's very vocal, very animated. It's good to see a player like him playing football again.
Love it. Evan, we'll let you get to it, man. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for getting those 2 guys on. That was a lot of fun. Keep doing it, man. We will talk to you later on then.
Awesome. Have a good show, guys. See it.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Kevin Brown is a star, Austin.
Seriously. Yeah, that was the first time I had heard Kevin. There's a magnetism there that
he's not your prototypical high school lineman either. There's not a lot of fat.
I've never run into a lineman like that.
He is jacked. So
I don't mean that part. I mean from a personality standpoint. So linemen are quintessentially,
Well, he doesn't have a lot of fat on him, dude. He's ripped. If you seen him wrestle, like last year, I think it was his first year wrestling, and he did really well, just kind of like going out there and throwing guys around. So Guy's a star. If you people want to watch, like, everybody loves to watch the explosive running back or wide receiver. They like to go watch Messiah Mickens run all over people. Go watch his film from last year, Kevin Brown at Harrisburg. You want to see some fun film, and it's lineman film. It's crazy, man.
Love it.
So what do you guys? 10:09. I think all the games have wrapped up.
We got the scores up there. I was trying to get the brackets going, Brian, but my
take it home, Austin. Take it home.
My computer is not wanting to play nicely, so we are going to take it home. Hey, that was a lot of fun. It was a
great way to
we had a great games.
Penn State
we had
on here.
Exactly. We just got off with
Harrisburg,
Penn State commits Kevin Brown and Messiah Mickens, who were both very fired up after their victory over Manheim Township, 35-14.
Hey,
we also had
tip of the cap to Steel High, Trinity, and Mechanicsburg. Heck of a year for those teams. Nobody saw it coming from you, and here you were. You had great years, and honestly, all three of them had a chance to win tonight even and be playing for district titles. So, Steel High won one. So, Steel High
That's
won
right.
the title. But Trinity and Mechanicsburg could have easily done that.
Yeah, this was a rebound week for us too. Last week had a lot of blowouts. Games went really fast. We caught our flow tonight. We had great games to to be entertained by, analyze. Bruce Badgley was doing his thing over on PennLive.com with the Harrisburg Manheim Township game. We were also able to check in, talk with Lane Hubbard of Bermudian Springs after they just won a district title. A lot of good things going on tonight. It was a pleasure to be here with you, Brian. Let's put a bow on this. What week are we in? Week 13? Week 13 episode of PennZone. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I think we're going to run it back, right? Next week. We got too much good stuff. Too much good stuff to be checking in on. Love following the games with you, Brian.
We'll do it right
no better way to do it.
We got to start talking about state championship plans too.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, we do. It crossed my mind last night. So we will, as you folks know, we're going to take it wall to wall for high school football state championship coverage here in the great state of Pennsylvania. So we will be doing the coverage in full force from Cumberland Valley in three weeks from now. No, more than that. Month from now. Bottom line is we'll be tracking it on every step of the way. We bring in the stories tonight from all four of the games involving mid-Penn teams. Matter of fact, I think I'll be cloning some stories from Lehigh Valley Live, our brothers and sisters over there on the District 11 squads in Parkland over Emmaus tonight as one of the results up there. So lots of high school football coverage coming your way from Penn Live. Also check out Brian Linder and company on the PA High School Football Report podcast this week. We got so much coverage, Brian. I don't even know what all to hype, but bottom line is keep it locked on all of our social channels on PennLive.com. You can follow me on X at Austin Herzog. Follow Brian at Sports by B Linder. Am I correct on that one?
Yep.
I think I am. Folks, thanks for joining us for another episode of PennZone.